Hello, and welcome to Chagpar MD. Now, as all of you know, we are in the middle of a global pandemic, and this is not set to go away anytime real soon. We've had exciting news on the horizon of at least a couple of vaccines that seem to be very effective, and we'll bring you more information about that as it comes. But in the meantime, as we head into the holiday season, it's important that we really do keep up our vigilance in terms of social distancing, mask wearing, hand hygiene, and trying to protect ourselves and those around us from this deadly pandemic. Now, there have been a lot of questions about masks. Are they effective? How effective are they? What kind should I use? And so I thought I would bring you some of the data on how effective are masks and how we should be using them in order to really get ourselves out of this pandemic, keeping ourselves and our families, friends, communities, and society at large safe. So what do you say? Let's get started. So how effective are masks? Well, there is no question in terms of the public health data that are out there that masks are really one of our first lines of defense against the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. Now, there are a variety of types on the market, and let's go through some of them. So the first is cloth masks, and these can either be ones that you make at home or you can buy commercially. It's important that you look at the quality of these masks. Single layer masks offer about 1% filtration. Double layers, about 35%. And when you start getting more than that, triple layers, masks with an added polypropylene filter, you can now push into the 60–70% particle filtration rate, which is really important. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go out and buy a really expensive cloth mask. You can make these at home, and I will leave you a link in the description box below to the CDC website that explains to you how you can make these cloth masks at home. Whether you buy them at the store or online, or whether you choose to make them yourself, you want to aim for a tightly woven fabric, so something like a nice heavy cotton. Remember that gaiters and bandanas do not work. Gaiters are really thin, skimpy fabric that really doesn't do anything in terms of filtration. Bandanas are open at the bottom, so they really don't provide you the protection that you'd really like. You want masks that are well fitted to your face without any gaping holes. Now, one of the most important things I want to say here is really avoid one-way valve masks. These masks are now coming on the market and are advertised as being easier for you to breathe through. And while that's true, because they have a valve such that when you exhale, that exhalation all escapes through that valve. So while these masks protect you in terms of anything that you breathe in, they don't protect anybody else from virus that you may be inadvertently spreading, because that one-way valve is essentially as though you were not wearing a mask in terms of protecting anyone else. And remember, the purpose of masks is only partly to protect you. More so, it's to protect everyone else. So unless you have some sort of severe respiratory problem for which a physician has recommended that you wear a one-way valve mask, please avoid these. Many healthcare institutions and hospitals have in fact banned one-way valve masks because they really don't do anything to protect the people around you. Now, what about surgical masks and N95s? Many of you have heard that N95 masks are the most effective in terms of filtration, and that's true. They filter out about 95% of particles, and at least in the US, are reserved primarily for healthcare workers. Now, you can get something called KN95 masks. These are the Chinese equivalent, and they are available online. I will leave you a link to where you can find them in the description box below. Now, what you should know, however, is that these are not FDA approved. So we don't know exactly about the quality of these, but they seem to be very effective in terms of filtering out viral particles. What about surgical masks? These, again, you can buy online. I'll leave you a link in the description box below. These also are very effective. They can filter out about 60% of smaller inhaled particles. You want to look for these surgical masks that have 3-layer protection. Now, for those who may be unfamiliar, these masks tend to have a blue layer and a white layer. The blue should face out when you're wearing them. The white should be towards your skin. They also tend to have a more rigid nose bridge. So make sure that you put that on with that firmer side up towards your nose and mold that around your nose so that you can try to create the tightest seal that you can. Now, this is data from a very interesting study that was published just last month from Yuki and colleagues, where they actually looked at viral RNA copies and viral titers between spreaders and receivers either wearing a mask or not. I'll leave you a description in the description box below with the link to this study. But there are a few points that I want you to get across in this graph. The first is that it's really important that the people who potentially are spreaders, that is all of us who may inadvertently be harboring COVID-19 without knowing it, wear a mask. You can see that if we don't, and the receiver also has no mask, that's 100% of viral RNA copies. But if we wear a mask, we can reduce that spread by about 60%, whether we're wearing a cotton mask or a surgical mask. We can get it down to 4% if we're wearing an N95 mask, which really is a benefit to the receiver who may not be wearing a mask. Now, we do even better if the receiver also is wearing a mask. So if we're not wearing a mask, but the receiver is, wearing a cotton mask, you get down to 63%, a surgical mask down to 50%, an N95 down to 14%. But look at this. If the spreader is wearing a simple surgical mask and the receiver also is wearing a simple surgical mask, we cut that viral spread by 76%. So really important that all of us wear masks, both for protection of ourselves as well as for everyone else. Now remember, not all masks are created equal. So how do you test the quality? Well, do a couple of simple, easy tests. Light a candle, keep it about 6 inches from your face, and try to blow it out while wearing your mask. Can you? If you can, it means that either the cloth mask that you're wearing isn't made of a tight enough woven fabric, that you don't have enough layers, or that it's simply poor quality. Also, try to hold your mask up to a bright light. Can you see that light through it? Ideally, you want it to be opaque. Now, remember, a mask is only as good as how you wear it. In that Yuki paper that I showed you earlier, they also looked at distance. And there was at least a 3-fold increase in viral load depending on the distance that you were away from an individual source of that viral load. So how you wear a mask matters. You want to wear it such that it covers your nose and mouth completely. So wearing a mask below your nose or such that the tip of your nose is showing, or certainly if you're wearing a mask under your chin, that's not helping anybody. So make sure that it covers your whole aerodigestive tract, your nose, your mouth, your chin, and really watch for those gaping sides. You want to make sure that this is a well-fitted mask. And remember, this is not a substitute for social distancing. So remember that paper I told you about? Distance still matters, so you want to maintain at least 6 feet or 2 meters of social distancing. Avoid those large social gatherings. I know that we're approaching the holidays. I know this is difficult. I know that we're all getting tired of this pandemic. But the only way that we're going to get out of this pandemic is if we do this together. And that means really making sure that we're keeping ourselves and our communities safe. So please do try to maintain that social distance, use hand hygiene, get a good mask, and wear it. Again, I really want everyone to enjoy the holiday season. I want you to be safe, and so I hope this information has been helpful. Please do like, and more importantly, share it with other people so that we can spread the message and we can get through this together. Until next week, this is Dr. Anise Chagpar wishing you all a safe and healthy week.